Were you there during the 2004 Redfern riots, or were you in prison at that stage?
I was in prison at that stage. That was my family. TJ Hickey, unfortunately, was yeah, whole heap of stuff around that. We'll leave that with the details of what happened and what didn't happen. Everyone's got their own version. Only those that were there that day will truly know.
He was getting away from a police car. Well, this is what I've read, and don't
mm,
quote me on this, but he was
yeah,
running away from a police car, and he got impaled. Is that correct?
yeah, he got hit on a bike, and then that slung him and flew him into a fence and impaled on that fence, which ended up killing him. So
Uh,
but you got to ask yourself, like, to us, that's normal behavior from the police, where you get rammed by a police car for no reason, mind you. So he hadn't committed a crime for them to ram him. And mind you, like, even if he killed someone, I don't know, like, do, what's the procedure as a police, to ram a young kid on a bike? That was just normal to us. And that's what we accepted. So when I got picked up as a kid, I knew I was going to get belted, but that's why every time I threw that brick, I threw it as hard as I could possibly could, because I remember how hard you threw a punch when I was handcuffed, with the handcuffs behind my back as a young 12, 13, 14-year-old kid. So um, seeking to understand, sit me down and have a conversation, role model me into a better position that my parents didn't give me, would be the solution to that conversation. And policing to me is, definitely, instead of just policing and locking someone up, how about you give them the key to the jail cell? And what that means is they can walk out of that cell through the knowledge that you give them. And we've spoken about that plenty, and it's something I'm committed to, even working with. When I say this, I mean respectfully towards young kids getting an outcome, even if the police are involved in that scenario, to allow them to see a better future, or anyone within the community. With respect to, I just want to see people not go through what we went through, but you know, that's just total normal behaviour, and you can understand why, after everything that's gone through and come through, nothing came of it. And I read a stat recently for the Aboriginal deaths that have been in custody, whether it was like my cousins or anything of that nature. Only one person's ever been charged in the Northern Territory out of all those police. So you're telling me out of 50 or whatever it is, it's more than that, 50 occasions, nothing was untoward. It was just all, like, to me, and it's just normal. We grow up with that and we just go, it is what it is. And hence why you got so much anger coming out of a space. And when you don't know how to regulate your emotions, you're going to throw a brick, and that's how you regulate your emotions. When you get to learn how to do that and say, that's on them, let them be that of that nature. We're going to conduct ourselves this way. And that's what we did with Redfern. We went from the most notorious violent streets in Australia's history to, you wouldn't even notice it. You go down there and it's painted white and green. So back in the day, graffiti everywhere. There's still houses. If you walk down Everly Street, there's some houses on the right hand side that are smashed up, um, you know, burnt. People had houses with burnt roofs, the whole lot. Like, it was insane, right? So if you look at those houses versus the old and the new, two different versions, and that's, us as a community stepping up and seeking to understand from ourselves why we built this way. So even if the police throw us up against the wall, pat you down, and it was classical. I was boxing the other day in Mundines, which is at the top of Redfern's, at top of Redfern, and crime's changed there. Like, the Everly Street's not that, but we had, while we're boxing, you got people, students walking up and down, and then as soon as two black kids walk down, police, that were sitting there jump out and, hey mate, what he's up to, and empty your pockets. And I was like, this is bullshit. And like, it's clear. And if I'd filmed that in time lapse, you would have been able to see that action go. It was 500 people that walk by, and two Aboriginal kids come down and now you pull them over.
Yeah.
What type of relationship is that? They did let them go pretty quickly, which was good. And I've sort of just watched the interactions. Those kids, no doubt, because we've taught our community, just cooperate. Don't worry about it. Let them do their thing. If you got nothing to hide, you're not going to have to worry. Don't run off. Don't give them hell. Be able to handle that. No matter what they say, your kind is this type of people. That's on them, and let them do that. And hopefully, someone in the right time and right space will teach them how to conduct themselves, and you'll get a better outcome out of each human involved in that environment, no matter where that is, workplace, relationships, teammates. It's up to that person to heal themselves, fix themselves, if you want to call it that, but build themselves into a better human. That's what we do, build better humans through better choices, and it's been powerful.